Hi, from Berlin, Germany. There seems to be a conversation going on around within young people. And there's an entire group that think young people need to review bride price payment. What are the gender roles for women in a family unit? What does religion say? How should society respond to these conversations, especially as it concerns women? You have to listen to our debaters and hear what they have to say, the for and the against.
Hello there from Berlin, Germany. My name is Matasa Abba. Welcome to today's episode of Matasa Imani. We will be talking about gender roles as it affects young people in Nigeria. What does it mean to be female in Nigeria? In 2015, if I recall, women in Nigeria used the hashtag on Twitter to share their experiences of everyday gender discrimination. Across the world, women juggle work with family and care for responsibilities, and Nigeria is no exception. On today's episode, I have guests in the studio. I am not physically present with them there because I got in close proximity with someone who contacted positive to COVID. Even though I tested negative, I am staying away for the safety of everyone there. I'd like to introduce my guests. I'll start with Pius Ibrahim Onoja, who is a PhD student in Germany. Hello, Pius.
Hello.
Pleased to see you.
Same here.
And there's Kola Akintola. He's also an MBA student in Berlin. Hello, Kola.
Hi, Messi.
Thank you for coming. I have Abubakar Bello Ismail. He is a Nigerian student as well in Germany.
Hi, Messi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi. And we have Victoria Essien. She's also an MBA student in Berlin.
Hi, Messi.
Before we introduce our colleagues, we're going to start with the conversation with our guests in the studio. Let's talk about patriarchy. This is an issue that concerns women, but more often than not, it comes off as though it's a conversation that sees the other gender being on the defensive. I am excited that we have more men in the studio to talk about this. Perhaps I'll start with Kola. Why is it, can you just, in your own assertion, explain what it means to be female in Nigeria? I know you're a man, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, Messi. Based on my experience back in Nigeria, to be precise, I was living in the southwest part of Nigeria, Lagos and Ibadan. So to be a female in Nigeria, though the role is evolving, traditionally females are known to be having a supporting role in the society in Nigeria. So like husband and wife, so you are meant to support your husband. The husband is the head of the house. But due to westernization and how the influence of social media, we started seeing what is coming, because Nigeria, we are largely being influenced by what is going on in America. So we started shifting the roles. So women are taking their place in the society, in the corporate world. We started seeing women into leadership position in Nigeria. But those are educated women, but in terms of those are not educated, that are not in the middle class. So the role is still largely based in terms of male are still largely domineering in terms of what they expect, because there are some things that are expected of women in Nigeria to do, like support your husband, or look after your children, and so on and so forth. So largely they are like second fiddle in terms of how people see them in the society back then in Nigeria.
Thank you, Kola. Pius, I listened to Kola's talk and he kept saying, see them. Like it's, it's a gender that is them. Interesting. But I'll take it up with you. Do you think a woman is a second fiddle?
No, I don't think so. I think basically the issue with Nigeria and the relationship between the man and the woman are placed in the society in Nigeria is based on education. The educational system of Nigeria, one, education, two, I would attribute it to religion. Because of the dynamic nature of the religion aspect in Nigeria, some religion accept the role of human showing herself, coming forward to speak the truth, to say the truth whenever she pleases, while others or other religion believe that no, this should not be. Woman is not supposed to talk when the man is talk. While traditionally, again, the woman is not expected to talk when the man is talk. So based on these three factors, the women found themselves in that position whereby they have to fight to get their place in the society in Nigeria. And the major issue there now is how they place themselves in that level that the society will appreciate them, will see them in the light, not being, because right now, so religion will tell you that, no, she's trying to overrule me, she's trying to dominate me, she's trying to take my place as a man, she's trying to take my place as a father, she's trying to take my place as a manager. But all this is based on education, civilization. If the educational system in Nigeria is balanced and people are well educated, then each person will know his place in the society.
Victoria, does a woman need education for her rights to be respected and for her to, for her not to contend with issues like gender-based violence?
No, I disagree. Even if you are not educated, you are not supposed to be seen as a weaker vessel, because let me say 30% of Nigerians now, they still see the women as the weaker vessels.
Now, if I may chip in, Mercy, Victoria, I will tell you that in that point I will say, if you are not educated, how will you know what is right and what is wrong? You must be educated to be able to say, yes, this is my right as a woman, this is my right as a lady, I need it, this is my right, give it to me.
It is
because
not
if you do not fight for your right, nobody will give it to you.
But
excuse me? I mean, in addition to what they are saying, I think woman doesn't need education before her rights.
Thank you.
Before she express or practice her rights.
Exactly.
The society should preserve or make a room for their rights.
Education, where does she know that?
Like,
no,
yeah, she needs.
Her
rights needs to be reserved for her.
I think the bone of contention here is we have to go back to the fundamentals.
Now let's take it to Nigeria. In the north, you find out that if you go to the north in Nigeria, you find out that the female there are oppressed. They are oppressed in the sense. I will tell you.
Excuse me. How do you define oppression?
Oppression can be in diverse.
See, in terms of the education, let me say something. Yes. I have someone, she's well educated.
Yes.
She did her master's. She was doing so well. Do you know her husband told her to stop working, to just take care of the house, just cook and clean? And she's educated. Why? Because she's seen as an equal.
She can fight for her rights.
Let me just make this point. In Nigeria, we are 90% of Nigeria, I would say we are religious.
Yeah.
So if you look at culturally and religious wise, so that we are being largely influenced by that. But if you move, so if you want to look at it, we have to look at it based on region. So if you're in Lagos, you can still say, okay, in Lagos, more people are more liberal. But if you go back to...
Why is it that so in Lagos? Because
can I just chip in something?
Yeah.
I heard an argument that suggests that in some parts of the country, or perhaps in the north, the rights of women aren't as respected as it were. Yeah. But across the country, not a northern problem, a Nigerian problem, you can also see that the issue of gender-based violence is still top in almost all the states of the Federation, even in states where the law has been passed. When it comes to implementation, when a problem that concerns a woman, even if it is violence within the home, the priority isn't placed as a human rights issue. This is where I'll probably have to ask Victoria this question.
Okay.
Are you, as a Nigerian woman, and if you're in Nigeria, are you scared about your life?
Not really. Because for example, based on my education, I like doing certificate programs and all that. Yet somebody told me, Vicky, you know all this education, you have to stop and get married and take care of your home. And what if your husband does not even want you to work? That's most of the mentality in Nigeria. That's why I said 30% of Nigerian men are still thinking that way. They believe as a woman, your role is in the kitchen. Your role is just to take care of the children, not to be in the society, not to take up higher positions. So it is still existing in Nigeria, education or no education.
I agree with her, and we still have to go back to based on region.
All is still based on education and religion. The three factors I mentioned in the first place. I mentioned religion, I mentioned education, and I mentioned the other, I will now call it society factor as well.
Talking of the education part of it,
yes,
I think, education is an added advantage for the woman to know her right.
Thank you.
But she doesn't need education before her right is respected.
Thank you.
All religion provides, how women should be respected, how man should take care of his own.
Education is not per se for the woman alone. It's both for the both.
That is what I am saying.
It's for the both
an added
gender.
advantage
Now,
for her to know her
if the man is well educated, you know what is good and what the lady should get, because they said if you train up a woman, you've trained a nation. Why is it so? Because they believe that she has the tendency of grooming the children to the expected stage in the society.
Okay, let me ask a question.
Yes.
Okay, there's a friend of mine. He was doing so well. Before he got married, the wife was also working in an oil company. And people that work in oil company, they believe, they are influential and all that. And the moment the first child came in, just told the woman, you have to quit. You have to stop working. You have to choose either me or your job. And of course, because she's a woman, she chose her husband and stopped working. And when she stopped working, there was complaint in the house. Oh, all she does is just to watch movies, to do this one. She's not productive and all that. But you told this woman to stop working.
I understand what you were saying. I understand you can be oppressed after marriage, but you have the right to choose the person you want to marry. I know you can't know everything about the man before marriage, but you should know the person you are getting married to.
Can I have Uthman so you could join this conversation?
Thank you very much, Mercy, for having me. I will approach it from two perspectives. From the perspective of religion, which is Islam, which happens to be my religion, and the other second one is from the point of African and Nigeria stereotype. First of all, when you come to Islamic religion, woman is not placed as a second gender in any way. In fact, Islam encourages that you should train women as much as you give priority to men, because when you train a woman, it is as if you have trained the whole nation. And there is no anywhere it is provided in Islam that if you train a man, you have trained a nation. It means that Islam gave priority to women. But I think it is even the women themselves that is getting it all wrong, probably because our society here in Nigeria and Africa has given them that second position. And that is why it seems like when you are not educated as a woman, your rights should not be enforced. And I think this is where I would differ from what is happening in the studio. A woman does not have to be educated before her right should be respected. Her right is a follow-come right. Her right is bet with her, and she does not require education to recognize such right and be respected for it. Because I just noticed that in Nigeria, every enlightened woman in Nigeria is a feminist. What do I mean? If you look at most of the women that are canvassing the support for feminism in Nigeria, they are enlightened women. They are people who go to school. They are people who understand what the world is talking about in terms of education and rights. But those who are really suffering this issue, those women whom those enlightened women are fighting for, calling themselves feminists and feminism concept, they did not go to school. They don't understand what is called right. And then it becomes like a burden for them that because they did not go to school, they do not understand what their right means. And then again, that is on the other side. On one part again is that women, it is time people should understand that women are the future of everything that engender national development and advancement in nation building. Whatever you are doing and you do not carry women along, to my mind, that thing will certainly not have a headway positively. So what am I trying to say? I think it is important that we should begin to rewrite the narrative of all the injustices that have been done against women gender in Nigeria. And I think the scholars of Islam should be hitting on this issue for them to really understand that there is nothing wrong in a woman holding a political position. There's nothing wrong in a woman, leading the men if that man does not have what
Tochukwu, can I take you up on something? Tochukwu, can I take you up on something? You're from the south of Nigeria. You're from an area where bride price is, the conversation around bride price tops the charts. Do you think the culture of bride price is good in terms of how it has gone over the years? Do you think it protects the sanctity of a woman?
Well, I think differently, but if you ask me to speak on this, I may have a kind of biased perspective in the sense that I am a Muslim. If I want to marry today, they will not bring it from the culture of what is obtainable in the Southeast as a whole, Igbo tradition. Igbo tradition may not likely to apply fully when I want to marry. They want to look at it from the Islamic perspective. And under Islam, we have a standard of marriage rights. And I'm bound by such standard because I'm a Muslim, despite the fact that I come from the South. So I may not, it may not be too fair for me.
But in Islam, do you pay bride price when you want to marry a woman?
In fact, the bride price in Islam is compulsory because that is what gives you a legal access to a woman as a wife to copulate with her. If you don't pay such bride price, whatever you does with her is against the Sharia.
But there are women that are advocating against bride price, the culture of bride price, as it sort of sells of a woman.
Probably because it is exorbitant. On the argument of the fact that it exhausts the woman, you are selling off the woman, I do not think they are correct. I would differ because in Islam, Allah recognizes the payment of bride price, and Allah made it in a way that it is exclusively from that of a woman. Let me make this point. It is important to note that bride price does not necessarily have to be money. Bride price is something that has value, and it must be requested by the woman, by the bride, to the husband. It's not to the bride's guardian or parents. It's the wife that will request it from the husband.
Can I say something? You said please. It's supposed to be requested by the woman, but that's not the case. As a matter of fact, the woman is never there when it's negotiated.
I mean, this is why I say that. You see, in Nigeria, we are ungodly religious. Ungodly religious, in quote, in the sense that we claim to be religious by being too godly to worship God, but we are playing insincerity in our worship. That is the practice. The practice is wrong. But in the letters, what it provides is that a woman who is going to be married is the person that is going to sit with the husband and say, guy, this is what you are going to pay me for my bride price. Really? During the time of the prophet Messi, some people married with the recitation of some portions from the Holy Quran. The wife will say, he should just come and recite so portion of the Quran or Bible for me, if you are for the Christians, so that you can understand the idea. You just recite it and bride price has been paid. It doesn't have to be money.
Uthman, I would really love to tell a man how much he has to pay without my
I mean, yes.
I'm telling you that is your right.
In addition to what he's saying.
Let's go back to the studio.
In addition to what he's saying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input. Fali will come to you. I know that you're itching to talk. Let's go to the studio. Can you guys react to what Uthman has said? Perhaps Victoria, you want to say something?
Okay.
I wish I can actually say that maybe my husband should pay so amount, because it's never done. Where I'm from, I don't even know how much they are going to pay. It depends on my family and the husband's family. So the amount that they pay, I have no idea. I don't even know how much they pay. So it's actually different, very different from my own side. I don't know if it applies to your own side too.
Do you think the culture of dowry and bride price needs to be abolished?
Why would it be abolished? No. Because definitely, if you want it to be abolished, that means they are giving the woman free of charge.
What do you mean?
No, it's not like that. Excuse me, no, it's not like that. See, talking of this bride price, it's not as if you are paying for the woman.
Okay.
You are not paying for the woman.
No, it's just appreciating. Oh, thank you for this beautiful woman that you are giving to me on a platter of gold. Just, you know, it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing. I don't think it's supposed to be abolished.
I think in my culture, it's changing gradually. I'm a Yoruba man. I'm from the Southwest. So now if the issue of bride price, so the parents usually they might say, okay, bring 2,000 naira. So once you give them 2,000 naira, and they will hand over the money back to you that we are not selling our daughter. What we are asking from you is just to take care of her. Once you take care of her, you've taken care of us. So we are not asking for bride price. So it's waning gradually in my area from where I come from, because the only thing they just collect from you is just maybe the yam and the oranges and all that, just to share it amongst the family, because we believe that it's not just your parents that take care of you since when they get back to you and all that, so they have to share it. And those bride price thing is not just the parent that will take it alone. It's just the family. It's the whole of the family that will share it amongst themselves.
So what's the difference between the money and the yam and all that? Is it not the same thing?
They are all valid. Okay, from the Islamic perspective of it, you can pay with money or something valuable.
But it's the same thing. Money or no money.
Yeah, that's it. And relating it to the women's rights, in Islam, as you are handing the money, the father of the bride is here to state what they are expected of you to take care of the woman, starting from her clothing, feeding, all has, you know.
It's based even in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Now I will tell you this: Nigeria, we are so carried away by religion and some of the practices we overtaking them to extreme. Now, what is it? What does I mean by that? Now look at it now. A lady wants to marry. The family are looking at it as a means of livelihood. They say this guy is going now. They will even decide, okay, who she wants to marry. Is that man rich? Well, I'm telling you, not only it happens in all culture. No. They decide. I'm ready so well.
No, family don't decide.
They have to check even. Some culture, they even tell you the bride price based on the person.
Where are you from?
But do you know that sometimes the reason why they ask if the man is wealthy or not, because they don't want their child to suffer. Imagine me taking care of my daughter, Imagine me taking care of my daughter, give her everything, only to give her to a man that doesn't have anything. Come on, no, I won't let that happen. No, I won't let that happen.
Very important. That is the problem we have in Nigeria. I still believe, I disagree with
some parents are capitalists.
The other calling that is saying it does not, education does not, you don't need education to respect the right of a woman. Yes, you don't need education to respect the right of a woman, but you need education to know what is the right of the woman, and the woman also needs education to know what is her right. What is education? Education can mean anything. As I tell you, this is it. It's education. I'm teaching you what it means. So now, if you don't tell the lady, or the lady doesn't know a place in the society, how does she claim a place? She cannot claim a place. We are from Nigeria. We know our problem in Nigeria. Our problem in Nigeria is education and religion.
No, the religion of education. No.
Because we are far behind in education, and we are
talking of education.
We carry the religion to become our soul. We carry the religion to become our code. While we leave the necessary thing that we are supposed to handle in life, we left the marriage.
Going by what you said, it depends on what you call education.
Now, if you
talking about education, like qualification, like let's say
nobody's talking about education.
education is normal. As you grow up in the society, you must know your rights. Going by religion and tradition, you have to know your rights.
A lady is being brought up in the north. I was born and brought up in the north.
The point is you don't need education before you...
I have been to all the 36 states of Nigeria. I have stayed in all the old states not more than 6 months in any of the states in Nigeria. I can tell you fully what is happening in Zamfara as a female lady.
That is what you are getting, I think...
Now I will tell you what is even happening in the east. Now let me tell you, a lady can only claim as place in the society when she is ready to stand on her own, whether be it on the man or on the woman. If a lady can stand on her own, whether you feed me, why do most ladies get married? They get married, one, someone to have children, another one, someone to have, they want to have as a source of living, they want to feed, because of what? The economy is bad, everything is poor in the society. That is why people are being frustrated, people are being left behind, and they use the religion to oppress people, use the education, they refuse to make people to get educated so that they will know their right in the society, they oppress them.
Excuse me,
and that is my problem with them.
Who is refusing ladies education? Who is refusing ladies education because of their rights?
We cry for the ladies.
Who is refusing ladies education because of their rights? Who is refusing women education because of their rights?
Why would I leave you?
Who is refusing women education because of their rights? Who is refusing women education because of their rights? Answer that question. Who is refusing them because of their rights?
Can we go, guys?
No way. Nobody is refusing women education because of their rights. Yes, nobody is refusing them because of their rights. Yes, nobody is refusing them because of their rights. It might be for another reason, but not for their rights.
Nigerians,
yes.
I know, I am privileged to know. And I'd like her to look at the law and what it says about the place of a woman in Nigeria. And I need her to perhaps also talk on gender-based violence and how it affects women in Nigeria.
Yes, Mercy, thank you so much. And what an insightful conversation. Specifically to answer your question, I think Nigeria as a society or within our legal framework, women have equal rights in terms of the salaries we earn, amongst other things, as compared to other international societies. The challenges women face legally, there isn't that barrier. However, in some societies, there were situations where women were not able to inherit certain landed properties because the customary laws do not allow that. And luckily, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has been able to deem that law unequitable. And in the society where there is natural justice, that custom is not able to stand or be sustained. However, having the law is one thing, but what are the customs and norms that govern each and every society, whether you're in the north, whether you're in the south, wherever you are? And we have critical challenges, and it's not because of our laws, it's because of entrenched cultures we have lived with for so long. So more often than not, the challenges you see women face in Nigeria are usually culturally ingrained, not necessarily provided for in law or provided for in religious doctrines, or perhaps even, we would even say it's not to the extent that the society or the country as a nation does not recognize the value of women. But being that as it may, a critical challenge for women in this, our time, is sexual and gender-based violence. 1 in 3 girls every day is a victim of sexual and gender-based violence. Women in their homes are victims of sexual and gender-based violence. And the challenge we have within the legal framework is because not many states have been able to pass the Violence Against Persons Act. And what that act does is, if for any reason, as a woman or as a human being, someone has meted out some sort of violence against me, I'm able to take action in court as a criminal case. And specifically when it comes to issue of rape and when it comes to young girls, the challenge we're having is there is a dichotomy when it comes to the age of marriage in Nigeria. And this dichotomy comes because there is a disparity between what happens as stated in the penal code in usually the northern countries and what happens in the southern countries. So in the northern states that are usually governed by the penal code and the sayings of the Quran, I think a girl is of age after her first menstrual period, which is an Islamic argument that is consistently going on. But legally, no one can cohabit or have unlawful carnal knowledge of any young girl below the age of 18. And because of the prevalence of this incident, not only in our homes, but even in our schools, where we take a number of girls to go and learn, and the teachers are found harassing these young girls, and the girls fall victims of this harassment. A number of states have passed the Violence Against Persons Act, and in addition, some states have even passed a law that will cause incarceration for young men who are found guilty of raping young girls and even their wives, amongst other things. But passing the law also is, again, one thing. How do we implement this, and how do we make people within the society understand that women basically have an equal footing with you in society? And it begins with a cultural shift that we have, and we as educated people have a responsibility, not only to just tell people, oh, women should be educated before they understand their rights, but we have a responsibility to create a rethinking society, because we cannot claim to be educated, we cannot claim to be advanced or aware and proclaim that until you have education, you will not understand your rights. Because this is all about morality.
I just want to ask a different question, and I like the input you've given and what the law says and and what not. Can I want to get married now and tell my father I don't want you to negotiate that bride price thing for me? The conversations that they were having in the studio. Can you just talk more on that?
Okay, so specifically on the bride price, I think the point was made in terms of two perspectives, right? One, when it comes to bride price, it's a completely customary and religious circumstance. And I will speak to the religion that I'm aware of, which is Islam. And in Islam, as I think Tochukwu has beautifully highlighted, the bride price is just anything of value. And anything of value can equally be negotiated between you and your husband as a Muslim or a northern girl if you happen to be practicing Muslim and you're from the north. However, the process of let's say execution of your marriage, which is more or less a contract if you think about it, are usually handled by your representatives, by your legal representatives. And in that case, it will be your father, your uncles, or whoever is appointed to take care of you. But it doesn't mean that you or me as single girls are not able to negotiate with whoever we are marrying what we deem appropriate to be our bride price. And the money is not even given to our fathers or our uncles or whoever those representatives are. The money is for us to do what we feel we want to do with it. This is already stated in the Quran. However, more often than not, there is a misunderstanding and misinterpretation of what the religion says and what happens culturally. Because we're an overly religious society, our culture and our religious doctrines have intertwined in such a way that the lines are even almost invincible.
Thank you, Fali.
So this has created this notion of you can't negotiate amongst other things.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to go back to the studio. Fali talked about sexual and gender-based violence, and I feel like that's a point we're here to really talk about in the studio. More often than not, the community and the society does not see sexual and gender-based violence as a human rights issue. On a daily basis, a woman, at most 3 girls, out of 5 in Nigeria have been raped or molested or sexually abused at different times. That number is high up there. Perhaps I should throw this to the guys. Why do you think sexual and gender-based violence is not so much, amidst the concerns, the fact that some states are already implementing the VAP Act, but making a law is different, is away from implementation, as it were. We currently have, I think, a sex offenders register that was recently launched. Why is it that when a woman is raped, it doesn't carry the kind of weight it should carry? A police officer might even ask me what I was wearing before I was raped. Perhaps anybody that wants to react to it, please.
I would like to talk about that. I mean, even though dressing is not an excuse for you to be raped, even though your dressing, how you dress doesn't matter. If somebody wants to rape you, I mean, he doesn't look after your way of dressing. But at the same time, I think there's a kind of lack of orientation to the young girls, which we need to. Like, we need to enlighten them on how to, we need to enlighten them on how this thing works. Like, if a man looks at you in this way, this is how you should do. And if a man is looking at you or is trying to approach you in this way, this is how you should do. And, you enlighten them. Dressing is not an excuse, but we need to enlighten these young ladies about it.
But why must the body be on the lady? That it has to be educated, it has to be enlightened. Why must the body be on the lady, not on the men that are
This rape thing almost happened to me when I was younger. When I was in, I think, primary 4, I was just a young girl. My parents were not home. I had a neighbor. He's always calling me, my wife. As a child, you just smile. Thank you, uncle. Thank you, uncle. And this day, I finished doing my assignment, and my mom was like, you just told me when you're done, go to Big Mommy's house, which wasn't far away. So I finished with everything, and I was just a young girl wearing a T-shirt and a shorts. I wasn't indecently dressed because I was a young child. And I was leaving, and this uncle came, my wife, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Big Mommy's house. He said, I like your hair, thank you. Before you know it, they're showing your favorite cartoon. And I was like, really? I went, and before you know it, I like your hair, I like this. And my grandma has already told me as a child, if a man touches you, you get pregnant.
That is one of the enlightenment I'm talking about. One?
He said, if a man touches me, I'll get pregnant. So I had this issue that, no, I don't want to get pregnant when I'm still a teenager. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. So when it was coming close, I was thinking, my grandma said, if a man touches you, you get pregnant. And this man tried to rape me. And what saved me was because I was still in school then, so they taught us all these rape things that in case anything happened, even if it means breaking the person's head, do anything to survive. And he pinned me down. Luckily, I did exactly what I was taught. I was not indecently dressed. What if I was not able to escape? I won't stand here and be telling this kind of story. Yeah. So I think we need, not the girls, they need to teach these young men when they are growing up all these things. How to behave.
Say, apart from that,
not dressing, not being.
Let me tell you, the society matters a lot. In Hamburg, because I stayed in Hamburg, when there was complete lockdown, a case of rape was reported in Hamburg. Now, and when they find out, they say, it was because the sex, what do they call, prostitute station, that is, we call the sex center, commercial sex center, was locked. So then I said, okay, it may be as a result of the sex center being locked, that is why guys are now raping ladies, because they have wear. So immediately what the Hamburg government did, they now said, okay, let them open the sex center. But the ladies must wear masks, because I read some of the law. The ladies must wear masks. The guy going there for sex must wear masks. Now, this is in Nigeria.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yes.
The analogy you're sharing is that because there's a lockdown,
yes,
the commercial hotels are locked as well.
Yes.
A woman, women are now, they're
not prone. Yes, they're not prone to rape.
She's to be raped. Is
no, she's not supposed to be raped. But these guys now, they find out that may be because if, for instance, there is an avenue, that place is open, maybe that person might not have done it. So it must have. So the government, in our wisdom, decided to say, okay, let's open. Now look at Nigeria now. If you check out some of the Nigeria cases that have been dropped, some of them will tell you they committed the act under drugs. They were under drugs when they committed the act. Why some? I have seen 90 years, 80 years. All these are problems of the society. The society, you can never take away crime from a society as far as we're on this planet Earth.
Why
but you can mitigate it.
Society? It is an individual person. You have to
look at it.
No,
it is the society. The society, because of what? We are lag behind in everything.
Okay.
Now,
what if I was almost raped? Will I say that guy is society?
No, what I mean by the society, I mean by the society in terms of living.
Now,
listen,
so like I said earlier,
there's
that
no
in
excuse for
Nigeria,
rape.
in Nigeria,
Yes.
we are religious. So I think the solution to all this problem is government still need to work with our religious leader. Because in church, they hardly talk about rape and they hardly talk about all the social vices.
They hardly talk about
so
sex.
what we talk about is money,
to discuss about it.
Give your life to Christ.
And that is
So are you saying that
about
it is the church or the government that has to teach
The
these
government,
young
the
men not to rape
institution,
people?
No, society in
listen,
general.
even though I said there's no
Society
excuse
in
for
general,
rape,
because
there's no excuse for rape, even though, like, maybe, like the enlightenment I was talking about in the first place was this, like, we need to educate the young ladies and even the society in general.
Is it just young ladies?
Not young ladies,
why
the
are we
society in
educating
general.
ladies?
It does not apply to ladies alone.
There is no excuse for rape. There is no excuse for rape.
Me. 2 ladies attempted to rape me, but I came out of it. So if such
I know
a
a guy
thing,
that has been raped.
so things like that are
So, I mean,
happening in
there
the
is no
society. What
excuse
do
for
you
rape.
do?
There is
You
no
teach
excuse
people
for
and
rape.
give them the liberty. You find out that they say no commercial sex. That there should not be a state will tell you that there is nothing like commercial sex. No ladies permitted. People are doing it underground. And guys, it's a feelings that you cannot hide from. And some can control these feelings. Some cannot control these feelings. So when such a thing comes up, it depends if they are well taught, well groomed, and say this thing will come. All borders on education. If Nigeria is well groomed in education, things people will learn, people will know how to even address. Ladies will be equipped in defending themselves. The guys will also be equipped in how to distance themselves from such feelings once it comes around. Because sometimes it's a feelings that come. Some people don't have controls. Before you know, they fall into it.
Listen, feeling and whatever is not an excuse to rape somebody.
Yes.
It's not an excuse to rape somebody.
Yeah.
Raping is rape. You could be raped as a man.
Yeah.
And women are raped like multiple times. Like we have reports of women being raped. So there's no excuse for raping. Whether you are in the feeling or not in the feeling, you have no excuse to rape somebody.
There is no excuse. There must be
There's
a
no
reason
excuse
to
for
it.
somebody.
There is no excuse.
That is
but
the
there must be a
enlightenment I was
reason.
talking about in the first place.
You must be able to address that reason and what causes it. If you are able to address it, you may be able to reduce it, but you cannot eliminate it completely. What I'm trying to say here is that if Nigeria educational system is functioning in the appropriate order, there will be a reduction in crime. Now there is surplus of crime because of what? Lack of unemployment rate. Even the ladies. Even the ladies. What are you saying?
There are a lot of educated men that were caught raping young ladies. So education is not part of it.
I can tell
it
you
could
now.
contribute, but not
in
part
Niger
of
State,
it.
in Niger State.
Education is not.
In June,
there are a lot of educated people that were caught
What
raping.
your education? What do you mean by education?
Now,
Education, you
is
are
all
confusing
about
education, I
telling
think.
people how to, what they need to know before time.
Sensitization.
You teach them, yes?
The same professor, I mean lecturers from university harassing young ladies.
Yes.
You know, so education is not
pastors,
an
the same imams, the same ladies.
The point I was making is you have
So
no
what are we
excuse to
talking
rape
about?
somebody. There's no excuse for raping. If you rape somebody, you must, like, there's no excuse. You can't hide
There is
behind
no
someone
excuse.
and hide
How
yourself.
about you cannot take
Thank you
it?
for your input. Can we have Sadao too has been itching to speak. Can we have comments from Fali, please? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for bringing me in. First of all, I want to clarify that when you discuss issues of rape, it has nothing to do with education. We have to get that out of this conversation. It's an issue of morality and how we think as individuals. And it's critical to recognize that some of these rapists are sick. They are actually sick, mentally sick, and they also need help. So the perspective or the conversation that it is a feeling and we should take care of it does not even arise. And you can't comfortably say that the ladies need to be trained. Ladies need to be trained in what exactly? So this goes back to what I was referencing earlier. It's a conversation of the values and morality that we have and as individuals, irrespective of the education that we have. Education is just a pathway. It's not a solution to all of our challenges, of all of our problems as human beings. So it will be irresponsible for us, and I think even unfair on our society and our ladies to focus on saying ladies should be educated or should be better focused on how to dress amongst other things and men have feelings. And specifically to mention, I think our target should be now, how do we ensure all of these rape cases, now that we have the legal framework to challenge it, do not end up as hashtags or just mere conversations? Because this conversation line about, oh, they are mere feelings that men have, of course, would almost make the issues seem irrelevant not only to society, but even more irrelevant to the prosecuting officers who have a responsibility to ensure that our rights and safety in the society is protected.
Thank you so much, Fali, for that. Thank you.
I think she mentioned.
Utman, you perhaps want to say something so we can wrap. Just solutions from you.
Yeah. Solutions. So I think she mentioned something about.
Hold on. Utman, say something.
Okay.
I think one of the solutions in the first place to combat the issue of rape in our society is for us to go back to the religious institution, and then again to the family specifically. Like one of the sisters in the studio had rightly pointed out, how her mom or parent used to tell her that when a woman is touched, she gets pregnant. That culture of orientation, even though it's not the right thing, like it's not the real fact, but then it will build that consciousness in her to know that this is issues that has to deal with her sensitivity and future. The family has a long road to play, as well as the religious institution. We need to have a rethink on the mindset about rape. Rape culture is a mindset. Rape culture, we are what we think. A PhD holder can rape a girl of 6, 7, and to me, that is madness. So you must be psychologically imbalanced for you to do that. So to hold an argument that education has to be given priority in order to combat rape, I think the society and the whole world had gotten enough education, if education is really something that is going to help us in curbing the issue of rape in the society. The society is enough. Because if you look at our society right now, the society are even facing more ills than before, when education was not that well known. And everybody can agree with that. So what we should be looking at is the religious institution, because these guys have a lot of activities in shaping public opinions. They have a lot of followers who believes in them, whether true or false, they believe in them. The family also has a lot. Your child will most likely to believe you when you are lying. So whatever you tell her, she's going to believe you. So that orientation must have to start from the family and the religious institution.
Thank you so much. Kola, your final take, please.
Thank you. I just want to corroborate what they were, both of them said, because I mentioned it earlier. Our religious leaders, they hold so much power in Nigeria, both Christian and Muslim. And if government can work with them in terms of orientating the society, in terms of morally what is acceptable in the society, what is not, another. But if you look at Nigeria now, I'm a Christian, so what an average church preaches is prosperity, because that is our number one problem in Nigeria. We are so poor. So that's that about religious side. And the other side about mental health. Mental health is when I was in Nigeria, I've never thought about mental health, but during this COVID, I knew what was mental health, or what is called mental health, because of when the COVID just started. But back in Nigeria, I wouldn't consider myself saying, I'm mentally challenged because of COVID, because when the COVID started, the news just bombarded us like, am I going to have COVID? But if I'm in Nigeria, I'll still continue going about my business. I won't even consider myself like, let me go and check myself and see if I'm mentally balanced and all that. So I think culturally, as a society, we still need to go back to our religious leader, because those guys, they hold so much power, because when election is coming, politicians go to them and meet them because they can sway people's opinion. And Nigeria, we are like 95% religious country and all that.
The same thing again comes to what I mean by education.
Final takes, please.
Even in schools, if they are well sensitized, the ladies are well sensitized from primary to secondary. The guys are well sensitized. Do you know that some schools don't even talk about sex education? Even in secondary school level. They don't talk about sex education. So how do you teach these people this thing? How do you make them to know? You go, I'm talking from first-hand information, that you go to some parks, they don't even want to hear that thing, sex education. They don't want to talk about it. A lady who finished the whole secondary school, she has not been taught on how to manage herself. So how do you expect such society to grow?
I mean, not in all religions.
So you have to teach them.
There is a provision for that in Islam.
You have to, excuse me, please. You have to teach them. You have to teach them in the religion. You have to teach them in school. You have to teach them even in the family. Let all this issue come up. Let the children be carried along, and everything will be okay. But one thing I must stand up: you must educate the ladies. You must educate Nigerians, and that will be. It will reduce the problem of Nigeria.
My final take, is not all about the education. Right from the family, right from where you are worshiping, these are already put in place. Like in my house, I have more of the boys. They've been teaching them this, all this sex thing, all this rape. In churches where I worship, they teach the male child against this rape. They do the same thing for the female. So by the time all this thing continues, I think there will be minimal cases of rape, which is already happening, against what you were saying, that they don't teach that. They are already teaching it.
There's provision for that.
So it's a gradual thing. And again, when they teach those people, it is an individual education.
Thank you.
When you teach those people, it is not left to them. Maybe when they are, they are mentally, they still go.
You need to be enlightened.
They are still enlightened.
Morality.
Yes.
It's a morality.
Education itself.
It's a moral
not education, the morality, not education, the morality.
Can we have your final take, please?
Okay, mine. I think if we should go back to the religious belief, I'm a Muslim, and I keep saying it, we have a way we teach the upcoming generation, starting from, let's say, with each year, like from 5 years, 6 years, we have how we impart the knowledge of how to take care of self. Like, for example, the first time you experience your period as a lady, not even before that, we have a way where we educate them on how to take care of themselves. Not only the ladies, even the boys. Like, what you should do in this step, if you experience this is what you should do. So I think we have that in Islam.
Yes.
We need to carry the religion and the religious people.
We're talking about real life.
I'm telling you, we have that.
Thank you.
We have that. I'm telling you, we have.
But you cannot tell us that this is it. When you go to the far north, people are being oppressed. Ladies are being oppressed. Ladies do not have the right.
We have it in Islam. Is the truth. I am saying we have it in Islam.
The end product is marriage.
All I am saying is we have it in the religion.
And from the north, you have a system where you tell you that the lady product is marriage. So what do you expect? Then we know what
Can we have your final thoughts, please? Final thoughts.
Thank you so much, Mercy, for convening this conversation. I think as we move forward as a nation and as young people, we must recognize that our education only gives us more access. It doesn't define who we are. It doesn't take us away from the challenges that are within our society. And specifically when it comes to issues on rape and sexual and gender-based violence, not just us, but I think our mindsets need a radical shift. The mindset of the society needs a radical shift towards understanding that the issue of rape is a persistent problem within our society, and those who are responsible for this act within society must be held accountable. Otherwise, we will keep pushing it as a cultural issue, amongst other things. And then finally, when it comes to the status of women in our society, I think as a country, Nigeria can do better in terms of the engagement and inclusion of women, not only in the decision-making processes, but also in how the affairs of the home are run, because it is at that point that we'll begin to change the mindset and the moral values of young men and the young people were raising, for the girls to understand that they have an equal footing in society, and also for the men and boys to understand that the woman is not below you, but an equal member of the home and an equal member of the society with you, who based on her right, her intelligence, is able to achieve anything equally with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadatu. I want to say thank you to Pius Ibrahim Onoja, who came in all the way from Hamburg. Abubakar Mohammed, thank you so much.
Abubakar
from Munich.
Bello.
Kola Akintola.
Thank you.
A big thank you to you for your insights and, of course, your arguments as well. Victoria Essien, you are brilliant as well. Thank you so much. Mr. Utman Tochukwu, are you in Abuja?
Abuja. I'm in Abuja.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Abuja. I'm in Abuja.
All the way from Abuja. Thank you so much. And Fali Hamo Saadatu.
Thank you.
All the way from Abuja as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks to our viewers for tuning in. We'll see you again next time. My name is Messi Abang from Berlin. We're wrapping this up now. Bye-bye.